PlayStation VR has been out for some time now, and I absolutely love it. It's a wonderful piece of hardware that consistently fools me into thinking I'm in a virtual world, and right now, it's getting me incredibly excited to see the upcoming future of virtual reality. But forget about the future. Let's talk about how awesome it is right now. Welcome to Bathroom Gamers, and today I'm here to show you the top 10 best PlayStation VR games that have been available since launch. After playing almost all of the launch games for the headset, this is my own quote-unquote professional opinion of the best games made for it so far. Now, this list does not include games with VR options, so as amazing as Thumper and Res Infinite are, this list is strictly about VR exclusive games. Oh, and Valkyrie will not be making this list because it actually isn't that good, just letting you know. Anyways, if you were to buy a PlayStation VR headset right now, these are the games that you should get for it.
Well, no, don't L.
Starting this list off at number 10 is Tumble VR. As a sequel to 2010's Tumble for PS3, Tumble VR is a cheap, simple, and fun game to experiment with VR. Your main goal is to stack blocks as high as you can with either the DualShock 4 or the Move controllers, but there are also some other similar tasks you'll be doing as well. It's a simple gameplay concept to understand, and while it is understandable that a lot of gamers would roll their eyes at a game like this, it is a lot of fun to play and is a great game to pop up when you have family over. It's a polished, simple game with a wonderful interface, and for only $10, it's a great game at a great price. Number 9. Battlezone. A simple concept executed well in VR, Battlezone has you in a tank fighting other tanks in first person in a game with a wonderful retro-futuristic art style. The feeling of maneuvering in the tank and the sense of scale and immersion is fantastic, as I found my body physically reacting to incoming fire. It's an incredibly immersive experience that is fun for a short while, but although it does have some depth to it, it does become pretty old really quickly. The AI is pretty dumb, the only mode the game offers is a campaign full of procedurally generated maps, the game can get really hard by yourself, and it's a full retail price game. While it does allow for 4-player co-op, I think it's going to be an extremely long time until many people have friends that also have PlayStation VR. While I don't agree with the price, Battlezone is still a fun game to play, is an experience that takes full advantage of what VR is all about. Number 8. PlayStation VR Worlds. VR Worlds is basically Wii Play for PSVR, a compilation of subpar minigames that demonstrate to the player how you can use the headset, as well as what the world of virtual reality is capable of. The 5 games include Danger Ball, which is basically first-person Pong, VR Luge, where you roll down roads as fast as you can while avoiding cars, Scavenger's Odyssey, which is a simple shooting game in space, Ocean Descent, which isn't even a game, just an experience where you're being lowered to the ocean, looking at sharks and things, and London Heist, which is a fun, mature-rated action adventure. While all the games contain little to no depth, London Heist is a great experience that had me immersed in its thrilling chases and shootouts, but that game alone doesn't justify the game's purchase. However, I do think PSVR Worlds is a great choice because for everyone that has never tried VR before, or for family members and friends that aren't into gaming at all, these games are simple to understand and fun to play, which makes this the perfect place to start your VR journey. Number 7. Wayward Sky. This is a simple, yet charming point-and-click adventure game with a wonderful art style. You play as a young pilot named Bess, and your father has been kidnapped by some giant robot. You are then tasked with exploring this metal fortress in the sky, looking for your father. While the voice acting is not the greatest, Wayward Sky tells a good story with some surprisingly emotional moments. It's a simple point-and-click puzzle game with puzzles that won't upset your brain, but that are fun enough to solve anyways. The game likes to shake things up by adding in likable characters, new types of visual storytelling, and by constantly swapping your perspective from first to third person views. It's a short and sweet experience that doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's a game that is best played with friends of all ages. Number 6. Headmaster. It's easy! You headbump balls to score points. It's an activity that sounds perfect in VR, and developer Frame Interactive have absolutely nailed the feeling of getting hit in the face with a ball, minus the supposed brain damage. It's a gameplay formula that sounds like it would get stale over time, but Headmaster throws different targets and scenarios at you that rarely make this game feel repetitive. Once you've gained slight control over the ball's movements, trying to hit certain targets and achieve a higher score quickly becomes a priority, which proves that this game isn't a gimmick, it's just straight up addictive. Throw in some British humor to keep you occupied, and you've got a VR game that is both fun by yourself and hilarious to play with your friends. Number 5. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. And from here on out, these are the games that I would consider a must-buy. Based on the okay horror game Until Dawn, Rush of Blood has you neatly tucked in a car on a roller coaster equipped with 2 guns so you can shoot targets to score points. And once you're used to shooting moving targets, bowling pins, and ducks, you'll then move on to shooting evil clowns while hallucinating and witnessing horrible nightmares come to life. The amusement park you go through can get pretty creepy and nerve-wracking, even for someone that isn't as easily startled in horror games such as myself. However, there were quite a few moments where the game tries too hard to get a scare out of you. Having said that, I've had a ton of fun with Rush of Blood. From the little feeling in your gut you get when going down a roller coaster, to the fun combat and surprisingly addictive score chasing, Rush of Blood is a wonderfully immersive experience that, like many other titles on this list, is also fun with friends. And the game is cheap too, so yeah, you should play it. Number 4. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Originally released on PC last year, this is a unique, cooperative multiplayer game where the person with the headset on has a bomb in front of them and has to defuse it using the help of everyone in the room who have the instructions. Because only the person in VR can see the bomb, and because that this person can't see the instructions, communication is the only way to win. It's an intense, stressful experience with many different bomb configurations and different individual puzzles within the bombs. Even after you complete all the bombs, playing the game with different people means this game will never get stale. Whether you play with friends who love to talk forever, people who get distracted over everything, or couples with a failing relationship, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is a fantastic and fresh multiplayer experience. Number 3. Batman Arkham VR. Taking place in Rocksteady's Arkham universe, this is a first-person Batman experience in which you walk around and feel like Batman. Within the short 90 minutes it'll take to beat the game, you'll be immersed in an incredibly beautiful setting with a terrific sense of place and character. Using the move controllers to interact with objects, use gadgets, and just be awesome, Arkham VR is so immersive that it really felt like I was Batman. Gameplay-wise, all you do is touch things, look around, do detective things, and just be awesome. Essentially, this is just an over-glorified tech demo showcasing how immersive and pretty PlayStation VR could be, but it's a fantastic one that for the cheap price is a must-buy for any Batman fan. Like many others, I did believe that Arkham VR only existed to make a profit from hardcore Batman fans, but it turns out that it's a well-crafted experience. Hopefully, this will convince other AAA developers to make VR games, and maybe after Rocksteady's time spent making this game, then they'll go on to create a true AAA full-price VR game that will blow our minds in the future. We can only hope. Number 2. SUPERHYPERCUBE. It is absolutely insane to think that a fundamentally simple arcade puzzle game can be one of the best games available on PlayStation VR. Developed by Polytron, the developers of Fez, which is one of the best indie games of all time, SUPERHYPERCUBE has you turn a shape so that it can fit into a hole in a wall. And that's it. No other mechanics, no alternate game modes, nothing. And it happens to be not only one of the best games for PSVR, but it's also one of my personal favorite games of 2016. The more puzzles you solve, the more cubes that are added to your shape, which makes the game increasingly more complicated. The reason that this game is for VR is because you have to use your head to peek around your shape to see the oncoming wall, as well as to get a good idea as to what your shape actually is. It's an incredibly natural use of VR, and mixed with a wonderful presentation, one of the most addictive gameplay experiences I've had in recent memory, you have yourself a must-play title. Regardless of what you think of a game such as this, SUPERHYPERCUBE is something you have to play for yourself. And finally, the best game for PlayStation VR is number 1, Riggs Mechanized Combat League. Created by Guerrilla Cambridge, the developers that before this made Killzone Mercenary, Riggs is a first-person single-player and multiplayer shooter in which you fight in giant mechs. The controls are fantastic. Moving my head to aim at my opponents while moving with the left stick feels fantastic, and it made me instantly realize how awesome first-person shooters could be in VR. The gameplay is just phenomenal, with wonderful level design, satisfying combat, and an intense sense of scale. There are 3 different game modes, all of which are equally as awesome, many different mechs to choose from, many customization options, and a full-fledged offline campaign mode, and a very good online multiplayer mode makes this one of the most well-rounded games available for PlayStation VR. It's an incredibly immersive experience that gave me butterflies second before a match would start, a great mental high during the short frantic matches, I had many outcries of relief and anger, and I really cared about my progression just because of how immersive the game is. If there's only one game you could get alongside PlayStation VR, then this is what you get, as Riggs' Mechanized Combat League is currently the best game available for PlayStation VR. And those were my picks for the best launch games for PlayStation VR. If you have any questions for any PlayStation VR game, I would be more than happy to answer them for you in the comments below. For more PlayStation VR videos, anything about upcoming games, or anything that takes place in bathrooms, then subscribe to BathroomGamers. Thank you for watching, and stay fresh.